talk about the state high school football championships. Okay, we know who the king of Texas is, right? My home city, D-Town, Dallas, like I predicted. I was hoping we go 3-0, but I said we're going to go at least 2-1. And we walked up there, we ran up there, and we smashed first game, South Oak Cliff versus Richmond Randall. And like I told you, Black Jesus hadn't been hit like them sock boys hit him, and Black Jesus turned to the little boy in the manger. Just got that's all I'm saying.
Melvin.
What you got?
Melvin.
Little boy in the manger.
Okay, Melvin. You know how crazy and silly you sound?
How silly?
The boy broke a state record, ran the longest kickout back. The boy had the best running back of all time in the state of Texas. Had over 200 yards all-purpose. Now, here's the deal. Oak Cliff did have a better team. They came out there prepared. I think if they had the same OCs last year, they could have a chance to win. The games would have been closer. And that's what killed them. It came down to coaching, and I knew that was going to bite them in the butt with the play calling at Randall. You had my man, Coach Hill, who's at Fosha now for to turn that program around. Coach Jinks, Julia's old coach, they was the OCs last year. So, and that made a big difference because they had the coach, and it is what it is. They got our coach.
So you saying the Randall coach
but
is
at
not
the end of the day, I knew Oak Cliff would get him, but best running back of all time in Texas, Black Jesus still got his. It made history, too. And, by the way, you know he made Gatorade Player of the State, won another in the year for the National Award, and he just made Sport News National High School Player of the Year.
So
just the junior, folks.
I want to go on record. I'm gonna go on record. I'm gonna go on record and say I like Black Jesus. I like him. I think he's the best running back not only in the state of Texas but in the country right now. At the end of the day, though, I had to tell you what was gonna happen. I told you what was gonna happen when you go up to Dallas and you see them big boys.
Yeah,
it's a different breed. So great season by Richmond Randall. Like I said last week, they were only going to have one loss this year, and unfortunately it was in a state championship against them South Oak Cliff, the Mecca of Dallas. They brought it home. Before we go, though.
Hold up. Now we ain't done talking because now, hold up, bro.
Go ahead, what you got?
Them East Side boys kicked them boys' ass, Duncanville.
No. We're going to talk about the celebration Stock had before we go to the
you can talk. Well, you know what?
You want to talk about that or no?
I'm not trying to be mean anything out there. It's something about y'all Dallas boys. When y'all do win something, y'all always mess up and make the news, like the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Carter Cowboys. Man, y'all done won the game. But, damn, why y'all had to make the news of a young man getting shot? Playing with a gun.
So
that don't make no sense. But only in Dallas, y'all can have it good.
You telling me they don't play with guns in Houston, and East Texas, and West Texas? Come on now.
Name me a team in Houston won. Hold up, name me a team in Houston won state, but never made the media after the game in a bad way.
Man, come on. The unfortunate part about it.
I'm not laughing about the story, but it's sad.
So for all you don't know the story, they were celebrating, and unfortunately the kids were playing with a gun, rifle, I believe. It went off inadvertently. They thought the safety was on, and it hit one of their teammates. So, no, it wasn't purposeful. They wasn't beefing. They celebrating. They just won a state championship. So I just want everybody to make sure that you watch out because, unfortunately, the powers that be in Dallas are trying to put a charge on this kid for making a mistake. And this kid don't need his life affected negatively for the rest of his life because he was doing what a lot of other kids do unfortunately, and the gun just happened to go off. So it wasn't no beef. They wasn't fighting. They were horsing around. Here's
the thing. Ain't no kid should be playing with no gun.
I agree.
And the parents...
The kid didn't buy the gun.
But at the
where the adults at?
At the end of the day...
Go get the adults.
At the end of the day, those kids shouldn't be playing with no guns. At the end of the day, these parents out here, in my generation, are very horrible when it comes to raising kids. Now, I don't know what went on with that, but at the same time, some of these parents, these kids know where the guns is, and they go playing with them. Because me growing up, I had friends' parents had guns in the house. I know my parents had guns. I didn't know where they were. They hid them, did a hell of a job. But even though me, I knew I couldn't mess with them because the way my house was disciplined. But those kids should have been playing with them guns. Them parents should have put understanding with that. And sometimes you got to hide the guns because kids get excited and they go show their guns. They did a gun, they grab them and play with them. So at the end of the day, those kids, it's sad they're going to have to charge this man, but he put himself in that position. But those parents need to be charged too.
So
period.
So we got Miles in the chat, and he brought up a good point, and I haven't confirmed this. So allegedly, the kid is 18, so he's not, quote, a kid anymore as far as the system goes.
It don't matter though, Melvin.
He's looking at adult, but that don't mean his mentality is 18.
That age stuff played out don't matter because they'll charge him with adult charges. You know,
I agree.
I just know a situation happened to a young lady, and they was at some boy's house. Parents was out of town. Boy was showing out playing with the gun, and the little girl got shot in the back. She survived, but that boy had to get out the country because his people was originally from an island somewhere. So you have to be careful with that. Kids, do not play with your parents' guns. Guns are nothing to be played with.
Yep.
They don't understand that. And that's why that young man, they shouldn't even been there.
Mess
parents
up his
need to be
life.
charged. Yeah, parents need to be
Potentially
charged.
go from the best time of your life to the worst time of your life in 24 hours. So,
and that's the kid got the game crunk. Caught the pick early in the game.
He got the pick early, so playing the best time of his life. So, hey, before we get to the next game, though, you made a comment about Black Jesus being the best running back out of Texas of all time. I'm gonna throw a couple names out there and just see. Have you heard of a couple running backs called Earl Campbell, Cedric Benson? You even had like Jamal Charles. Like, have you even heard of them cats?
Well, you know, the way I was raised, I've been scouting for 26 years. And the way I was raised, film don't lie. I even learned that even being a player, film don't lie. So all I tell people is this. You put their film in and put his film in. It's no comparison. Think about it. You got Adrian Peterson, Eric Dixon. Same style of back. All they big asses did, run, cut, and go. This kid don't have no furniture moves up front. He don't have no line. And this boy makes spin moves. This boy got a couple of plays catching pitches, running between guys. It's just, the boy's entertaining. Entertainment sells. Prince Mike was the better musician and writer than Mike, but Mike was a better entertainer. And that's what I'm going to spend my money on to go see. People like entertaining. So this go back, when the show would, we could sit down, get on that tablet, and we'll pull up all those guys' film and pull up this kid film and compare. No comparison, man.
I feel you.
Now, I'm going to say this. Dickinson, another guy, everybody keeps yelling Adrian Peterson, and they keep yelling Dickinson. But I'm tell you right now, who I take over Adrian Peterson in high school, and everybody don't talk about that. And that's being gay. 6'3", 220, ran a 10-2, played at Spring High. Now, he didn't have it upstairs all the way. Went to Baylor as a prop. Went to junior college. Who was that? What's Miami coach name? The one left before Coker took over. Butch Davis. Butch Davis came and got him. He was busting tables in San Antonio. Went down there one game, made player of the week and everything. Just couldn't remember the playbook. So Earl Campbell remind me. Gerald Moore reminded me of Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell carried the team. Earl Campbell was a bull. Yeah, he was great. But if you look at all the backs and their style, the best running back is Barry Sanders. This is the same style as this kid.
But he didn't come out of Texas, though.
No. I'm just saying when you look at the running backs, because your best running backs is 5'10" and under. If you look at the history, Gale Sayles, Emmitt Smith. But Barry, this kid got style like Barry. Now, I compared this kid with Johnny Bailey, and he was better than Johnny Bailey. Johnny Bailey wasn't running no 10-5. That's unheard of. This kid coming out of junior high running 10-5. What he's doing, they've been doing it since he was little.
I hear you.
Come on now.
I hear you.
But film don't lie. Just pull up their film.
We're gonna pull up the film. Make sure we don't have the AI version when you pull it up. So with that being said, we're gonna go to Northshore at Duncanville. Northshore. By the way, I watched that game. It was probably the hardest game to watch out of all the championship games. But Northshore pulled it out. It was definitely a defensive game. I don't know if was it a defensive game or a lack of offensive game.
Well, with my understanding, Duncanville starting quarterback didn't play.
No, he didn't.
He's my last two games, so I heard it's supposed to have been some trouble again. He's supposed to be keeping on. I don't know. But they had their chance.
Was blowing people out.
Duncanville had their chance at the end. The boy dropped the ball.
Yeah, he did.
And I know the backup quarterback was kind of timmy. But give a shout out to Northshore, Maryland. Give a shout out to Willie Gaston, first championship, former quarterback at Northshore. Glad you brought it back to the east side. Defense played well. 27 came down. It was a dogfight at the end. It was low scoring. I know people, like you say, love entertainment. It was a little boring, but at the end they got excited. But they brought it back home, man.
No, shout out to Northshore. Great year. Going back to state.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Maryland, his dad,
state.
James. Boy James. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Congratulations to y'all.
They went through the gauntlet this year. Lost some games before they got to state. but they brought it together and was able to pull out, obviously, another historic win over a historic franchise team in Duncanville out of Dallas. So, woo! I called the wrong game, but I called the right result. You talking about a team that got Peter-rolled? Peter-rolled. DeSoto came out the tunnel and said, C.E. King, you need to be in the training room shining my shoes, and then once you get done, you need to spit on them and shine them again.
Well, Mel,
it was never close.
Well, we knew that game was going to go the way it's going to go, and you knew who I was putting.
You said they had a great defense. C.E. King had a great defense.
I said they had a good defense. I said great. I said they got speed.
It's
a difference between great.
Come on, Julius, can we pull up the tape from last week? We're going to pull up the tape from last week. You said that boy got a great defense.
Julius, at the end of the day, Julius,
Peter rolled, by the way.
They jumped out on them early. They jumped out on them early. They made 2 big plays I thought should have been on ESPN when the boy reversed the field and the boy ran a 90-some yard interception back. It's hard for me to pull against one of my old players like a little brother, me, Coach Sweeney. Offensive coordinator, receiver coach. His receivers went to work. That's the impacts of that team. Everybody keep talking about their running back. It's them wideouts. They made room for him.
Booby. Woo.
And
going
shout
to
out to Coach Sweeney, keep doing your thing, because it's time for Sweeney to get a head job. He don't want to have a head job. He want to love the role he play. So it's time he have a good job. So I knew they was going to come out. It's a lot of chaos in that community. Coach Mathis, shout out to him. And like I say, they did what they did. I wasn't surprised. But I would say this to everybody out there. For a black coach to win state in Texas, that's like celebrating Martin Luther King holiday. And the beautiful thing was see 6 black coaches. 2 of them played against each other. And at the end of the day, you got a coach win, and you got one didn't won. One coach gets shout out to the coach at Orange, West on start. Congress is too strong. But for him to get there, it's an honor. So I got to get shout out. There's a lot of history was made in Jerry World this weekend. I definitely got to say that, though. And Willie getting his first one. Then, Mathis getting his second one. Then Todd getting his third one.
Huh?
No, I think Mathis won 2. The other one it wasn't there. The first one, he wasn't there.
No, they won 4 out of the last 5. So he wasn't there for the other 3?
I got to look that up. Because I know that when they beat, a couple years ago, when they won a first state championship, they had the other coach.
So,
the white coach. So
you're talking about a talent-rich area. If you go to Dallas, Sauk, DeSoto, and Duncanville, you put a circle around that area, it's not more than 30 miles apart.
Well,
all them kids in the same spot.
Yeah, it's not recruiting going too, but they not better than Look, here's the thing.
They not better than who?
Y'all had a championship. We got the pros. And that's how I go every year.
What?
Y'all ain't never had 4 guys from Dallas win the first round. The draft the UFC that
forget about Dallas Carter.
They went to jail. They played for the what? For the state penitentiary?
That's okay. That's what we do.
Come on.
We hard up in Dallas. That's guess what? We ain't scared. We ain't scared. So we'll go do some time. We're going to get drafted first round.
Melvin, just calm down, Melvin. Calm down. Let me give you the history about South Texas, close to Houston. At one time, Galveston was the #1 city, had more pros. Okay? Triangle area in the 70s on up to the early 80s, Beaumont, they had more pros. Okay? Look at our Hall of Famers. Darryl Green. We got Darryl Green. You got Lester Hayes. You got Cliff Branch, Mike Singletary, Strahan. The list go on. And it don't make no sense. Otis Taylor not in the Hall of Fame. And Keenan McCarter should be going in the Hall of Fame, too, as long as he played with the numbers he put up. And I know it's going to be late. I'm just saying.
McCarter's the number 2 wide receiver.
Look at the draft, like I said, CD that was in. So the thing is with Dallas, I give y'all credit. Y'all have good facilities, which they starting to finally do here, because C. King got the hell of a facility. And that facility Northshore got, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But coaching always been better. I'm just saying like it is.
Right.
The way it goes.
If
you look at Oak Cliff, if you look at Duncanville and all them, DeSoto, it reminds me where I grew up. Like, they have my side of town in Oak Cliff and Duncanville got so much in common, because Hard Clark was your first black suburbs. Oak Cliff was your first black suburbs. Then you had behind Oak Cliff, you got Duncanville. That's considered like Mo City right behind them. You got DeSoto, you got Lancaster, all that, like Pearland, Stafford, and all that. Same setup. So both of them areas remind me of each other, because like it says, a bunch of blacks is a bunch of talent. in that area. Now the schools on the east side, because I look at Northshore District, it's like an SCC down there. One thing about those east side kids is those kids are more hungry. And I look at Randall, they might be suburbs. They got some hood in them. If you look at some of these other programs, I ain't going to say no names, should be winning and should be making a run. They're more like country clubs. You're not going to win being a country club.
Not in Texas. Not in Texas.
And so it's just on another level. Summer Creek almost made it. So it's going to be really interesting what happened in that district. And now you got a lot of these teams going up and down because the Alito's supposed to be going 6A. And I think they're going to be in Crowley district, I think.
Yep.
And DeSoto might be dropping. They try not. So if they drop, and I know Hot Tower was dropping, it's going to be real interesting.
If DeSoto drops to 5A, hang it up. There ain't nobody but DeSoto gonna win in the next 3 to 4 years.
Because there's some other strong man. Come on, man.
They killing folks in 6A. You drop down to 5A. Woo!
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hot mess. They ain't gonna have a shot.
But I know one thing. Randall will be back. 7 starters coming back. Offense, defense. They got 2 upcoming young quarterbacks really good to key. And I hope they get the play call. They get the play call again, they'll be back.
So let's get into, before we wrap up the show.
But I got one more shot.
Go ahead.
My kid at Yoakum, Robinson, freshman running back.
Okay.
They beat Grandview, so I definitely got to get a shout out to them.